Welcome to the show, Amazing People. Before we start the show, let's watch Spearhead Media, how it has become up till now, how it has traveled for the last 7 years.
The Spearhead Media Group, a media house with a difference and making a difference. We aim to do what Ted Williams says, a well-aimed spear is worth 3. The company headquartered in Mangaluru on Karnataka's west coast with a mission to engage, enlighten, empower, enable and serve as a beacon of hope and unity for Kannadigas worldwide is doing that successfully for the last 7 years. It is a crowd-funded media company fulfilling a noble mission. From our shareholders to our employees, our mission is to provide the power of the media to those who need it most, the people, and hence the tagline, People's Corporate. Today, all media products of the Spearhead Group have hit their benchmark milestones and are going from strength to strength with your blessings and support. The media brands newskarnataka.com, an English news portal, newskannada.com, a Kannada news portal, are the most loved, trusted, exciting and preferred news websites to come out of Karnataka in a long time. Why? Because they were born out of passion for the truth and constantly live up to their tagline, Truth Endures. Additionally, there is NK-TV, a digital TV channel, NK Plus, a weekly e-magazine dedicated to the youth of Karnataka, Karnataka Today, an English monthly publication, and NK Live, the live streaming platform, all of which have already become the preferred destination for consumers, disseminators of information, and brand builders across the world. Village TV commenced in October 2019, slowly heading in creating jobs by engaging journalism and other faculty students across Karnataka in journalism and video editing, fulfilling the concept, earn while you learn. NK Digital Training Enablement Services, NKDTES, a e-learning platform born during pandemic, is gaining clientele for training online and skill development. Spearhead Academy of Applied Media Studies, SAMS, is emerging to support the Village TV in creating jobs in journalism and video editing as rural development program. From a humble beginning today, we contribute in a small but powerful way towards promoting positive and ethical journalism, and we stand committed to our mission to engage, enlighten, empower and enable who need it most, the people.
That's the story of News Karnataka, and today is the World Tourism Day. Djibouti and Addis Ababa were selected as the host cities and nations for the celebration of World Tourism Day 2020 on the theme Tourism, Building Peace and Fostering Knowledge. Celebrated every September 27 around the world, the purpose of World Tourism Day at the European Council on Tourism and Trade is to foster awareness among the international community on the importance of tourism and its social, cultural, political, and economic value. And we have with us 3 young travel and food bloggers who will talk about travel destinations across the world, their experience, and will travel for food as well the food they prepare. Let us introduce them. First, let me introduce Prashant. Prashant, a mechanical engineer, is from Holy Rosary Parish, Alangar, currently working in Abu Dhabi as a senior sales engineer, participated in state-level yoga competition during his high school days, school people leader in Holy Rosary High School, president in ICYM Alangar Parish in 2012-13, treasurer in ICYM Moodbidri in 2013-14, won first place in group and solo Western dance competition in Alwas Engineering College, and hobbies include YouTube travel vlogger, videography and editing, dancing, choreographer, motorcycle enthusiastic, and singer. Traveling is his passion, making videos of the places and sharing his travel journey with the people, which may help them while they visit, and also for those people who wants to visit those places but they can't travel like senior citizens and people from far places. So far he has visited 20 plus tourist places, including Kuwait, UAE, and India. I welcome my co-host Sharal Barboza, and Sharal Shweta Barboza, and she will introduce our guest Lakshmi Shenoy.
Okay, Lakshmi Shenoy, BCom graduate from St. Agnes College, MS Communication from Manipal University, PGD in Marketing Management from Mysore University, was PR executive at TAPME Manipal, faculty at School of Communication PG Department, faculty at St. Aloysius College, PG Department of Mass Communication, faculty at St. Agnes Department of Journalism. Worked towards Mangalore's first beach clean drive along with district administration, conducted many social cause events like FemFed for women entrepreneurs, humor workshop for jail inmates, AIDS awareness drive on boats of Sultan Bateri, hygiene and sanitization drives for fisherwomen of Bengre, awareness programs through street play, women empowerment stories through theater. She is a foodpreneur, everyday salad, and her passion is food blogging and traveling for food.
Yeah. And please continue with Alka's introduction, Sharal.
So our third guest is Alka Purushottam, a data scientist currently located in Berlin, Germany. She is from Mangaluru, Karnataka, alumni of Little Rock Indian School, Brahmavar, BE from NMA MIT, NETE. She is a travel and food enthusiast. She has traveled to various places in over 10 countries, and her Instagram page just posted the best of those places. She also loves to cook and try new cuisines. She started a small weekend business where she takes orders and provides people with a variety of Indian food.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Prashant, Lakshmi, and Alka. And let's talk about travel, tourism, food. And we will talk on the World Tourism Day special by News Karnataka. And first of all, what are your first thoughts today? I will start with Prashant.
So, hi everyone. First of all, happy Tourism Day to all the viewers out there, to you, sir, and to all the guests, and to Sharal, of course. So, to all the viewers, hi, namaste, Wanakam, Assalamu alaikum. And I would like to thank to all my viewers, my supporters, my friends, my family members who supported my passion, the thing what I do, and they really loved it. And because of them, I am here today. So because of them, I got a wonderful opportunity to be the part of this wonderful show. I never imagined that I would get to share my experiences about my travel videos. So it is, it's a very big platform for me. So thank you, News Karnataka, for giving me a wonderful opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I will go to Alka.
Hi, everyone, and happy World Tourism Day to all of you. First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on this platform. And I'm really excited to talk to all of you and share my experiences as well.
Wonderful. And last but not the least, Lakshmi, what are your first thoughts?
Thank you, hosts, for having me on this show. And happy tourism to you and all the viewers watching News Karnataka. I feel, if we haven't traveled, we haven't lived much. And with this thought, I think we can go ahead and share our wonderful experiences from our travelogues.
Great. And my question coming to you all now, and how and why did you take into blogging or vlogging? And I will start with Lakshmi now. Why, how, and why did you take into blogging?
Okay. My introduction to food comes from a very young age. I have, at a time when we go to weddings, when my cousins used to bother about their clothes and jewelry, I used to bother, what might be on the menu on the wedding. So this thing with food comes from almost, from a very young age, when my father would come home and start experimental cooking. Like I remember when I was even 7 or 8 years old, when he would come and cook me something called as bamboo fried rice, which we get, in restaurants off late. So this thing about food has been with me, a part of my culture during, festivals and important days, occasions, birthdays. The only thing that was to be exciting is, what are we going to have on the menu? So this one big question has always stayed with me. And I like writing about it. I like knowing about it. I like to know the history of why do we eat certain food in certain areas with certain cuisines and certain cultures. So I think this has given me a kind of an impetus to start my own page and share my experiences there.
Okay. Okay. And we'll go to Alka now.
Yeah. So
What?
I would,
Please.
I've always been passionate about travel and cooking. And I realized that most of my experiences are just lying in archive in my phones. So I had this urge to get it out there. So as we all know that social media is a platform that is, that is the most effective platform in this age. And my aim was to reach out to like-minded people and create my own audience. The motive was not to gain a certain amount of popularity with it, or a lot of millions of followers. That was not my thing. I thought have a small community where you have the same kind of people and who have the same thought process. And I'm putting out my experiences on this base. So initially I started my travel page, that is Beyond City Lights, wherein I was putting out my pictures of my travel and write a little about it. So with this, I gained some, kind of interest of people, wherein they approached me to plan their itinerary for them. So this also became like an additional service, wherein I was providing an itinerary for them to plan their own travel. Shortly after this, I started my food page because I was passionate about cooking. And here in Germany, I started this weekend business wherein I was putting my menu out for every weekend, and people were approaching me and placing their orders.
Great. Now, I'm sure with this show, you will have more and people knowing you, and I'm sure you will get something good after this. And Prashant, why did you take to vlogging, and how did you take it to vlogging?
Yeah, from the childhood, I am passionate about traveling, and videography is also my hobby. So from the childhood, after I was watching the TV with my mom and my siblings, DD number one, after the news channel, there was a one serial, Bhumi, which in that serial they were showing the different places of India, the food, the historic places and all. That attracts me a lot. So somewhere that thing was there in my mind. So after my graduation, I moved to Maharashtra, and there I was working as sales engineer, and I was traveling to Maharashtra. So while my travel, I get to know new people, new places, new food, new culture. So that really impressed me. So that time, it was like 3-4 years back, and that time I can't take videos, and that was I'm not that equipped at that time, and YouTube was new to me at that time. So recently I started before I moved to Kuwait, I was there at home for a couple of months waiting for the visa. So that time I used to travel with my friends and capturing videos. So that time I would like to I wanted to share my travel experience with my mom and with my friends, and I wanted to save it somewhere, that will last for forever. So by that, like in that case, I started, that way I started shooting videos of the places I visit. So everyone get to know about that place, and, the way we enjoy. So yeah, by adding some cinematic moments and music to make it more, entertaining.
Okay.
So by that way, I started vlogging.
All right. My next question to you, and it is actually nice to know that how you came into blogging. Each one has your own story, how you came into. But main thing is your passion for travel. That is something which brought you to the blogging and vlogging. And my question not my question. The next question comes to from my co-host, Sharal.
Yeah, my next question is for Prashant. Traveling is your passion. So could you please tell us during this pandemic, how it has actually dented your passion? And what did you do during this time?
Yeah, Cheryl, very nice question and very important question also. This pandemic has affected a lot of people with their social life and financial life. It affected a lot. But when it comes to the passion, so I like to be honest. For me, it doesn't affected in that that much for my passion for career and all. Of course, it is affected for everyone. So this time I utilized for myself to develop my skills, to focus more on the content. So I learned softwares and editing softwares, and I learned a lot. And I followed few YouTubers to improvise my content. So, and it's not that I didn't travel. Even I do travel in the pandemic with all safety precautions and all. So after that study, I posted 3 posts in my YouTube channel, and got a very good response for the videos. So I feel like it is a situation where we need to buckle up, and we should uh, learn a lot of things in this situation. So it is a time for us to utilize for the preparation of a better future.
Okay, youngsters listening to Prashant, I think take a cue from him that don't waste the time. Pandemic is a time where you can learn new softwares in whatever field that you are and sharpen your knowledge, and so that you are up to date, and whatever that you are doing, these softwares and whatever that you want to learn more and new will help you in the future, how you can improvise your talents and skills. Okay, now we will take a small break for 30-40 seconds, and we'll come back. Viewers, don't go away. We are talking on the World Tourism Day special by News Karnataka, and we are talking to 3 youngsters who are going to share with you the experience of traveling in India and outside India. Let's take a break now. Okay, back to life. My question to Lakshmi now. You are a foodpreneur and traveling for food. For the benefit of our viewers, please explain about your passion of food blocking and traveling.
Certainly. My passion for traveling for food comes from a very long time. For example, I remember traveling to, the remote parts of Kerala, Tamil Nadu in search of, the best idlis that are there. And I found that, something very interesting in a place called Rameshwari, where, the technique of cooking an idli is different, where they have a mud pot, where they put a muslin cloth on it, where they put the idli on it, cover it with another mud pot. So I think, India has myriad of kinds of cultures to learn about, and, the entire length and breadth of the country. So what has happened is this travel, experience of mine has helped me in set up a new menu for my own venture, where I'm a foodpreneur. It's a cloud kitchen, a home kitchen where I run. It's called Everyday Salad. I feel the most boring part on any menu that you see today will be a salad. Even if you go for a buffet or anything, no one would want to venture, to eat a salad. So I feel, it's a challenge to make a salad interesting. And I think my travel experiences have helped me a lot with this. For example, I have something called as a Kachampuli grill. It comes from, the humble recipes of Coorg, where they use this sour agent called Kachampuli. Then I have something called as Robusta, which is an inspiration of the ghee roast of Mangalore. So I have that on the menu. And then, and also the techniques of cooking. Like, for example, how do you not use a lot of oil? Because right now, most restaurants have only deep fries and, things like that. But how do you change the way, with this? Like I have hand ground, pounded, dry roasted and toasted and things like that, which is an alternate to, just deep frying all the time. So this is what traveling has done to me. It has opened my mind, it has opened my experience to a great extent, and it has helped me learn a lot from all these travel diaries all these while.
Okay, okay. When you say everyday salad, I remember my nutrition, dietitian called Doctor Nutrition here, and the best part every day is the salad. Salad with a lot of things inside on afternoon, and believe me, in 6 months' time, I lost about 17 kgs. Okay, so I'm sure the viewers who are listening to you need to come to have everyday salad at your
Certainly.
yeah, okay. Okay, let's move on. Sharal to over to
The
Sharal.
next.
Yeah.
This question will be for Alka. So you're a travel and food enthusiast. So can you please tell our viewers the places you have traveled and the food that you have savored?
Yeah, certainly. So I have traveled to different regions in about 16 countries. In India, I have traveled mostly towards the south of India and some parts of north and west of India. But again, east is something that I'm looking forward to travel. And apart from that, I've traveled to Thailand, which is an East Asian country. And now that I'm living in Germany, I had a chance to travel to most of the European countries around here. So I think when I travel, I make it a point that, I try the local cuisines of each and every place. So I'm very fascinated with how the culture and the environment is influencing every cuisine, and I take a little bit of that into my cooking as well. So I would say that I must say that India in itself, it's a huge country and it's very diverse when it comes to food. And we as South Indians, we have a wide range of food that we all are presented to. And I think my personal favorite is our coastal cuisine that ranges from this belt of Goa to Kerala. That's my all-time favorite. But other than that, I do like Punjabi and Bengali food. Here in Europe, I see a lot of influence of Moroccan and Turkish cuisine in Germany, especially. So I think the viewers, I would say that you must try this cuisine because it complements a little bit of Indian cuisine as well. Other than that, people are aware that there is Italian cuisine, which is the most world famous cuisine, for its pasta and pizzas.
Yeah.
That is also something that I feel the viewers should try. And that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. And which are the places that you have traveled outside India? You said you have traveled many places, but which are the places like?
So I would say Thailand, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Italy, Croatia, and it's most of the European countries.
Tell me, what is the best food in Thailand?
Oh, I love the pad thai. There is something called as the pad thai, and that is something that I really loved. And I think next comes the tempura that I loved a lot next to pad thai. So this is
All right.
Pad thai is something noodle based, and it is legumes, and it comes in different forms. If it is if you like meat and chicken and pork or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. And all right, my next question comes to Prashant. What is the objective of your vlog and how it is different from other vloggers? Prashant.
Well, my long-term objectives are like I would like to improve the content. I want to focus more on the content, and I would like to travel more and more places and cover more and more places. So, and that and get more information about the places. So when the people go and visit there, so they will be having almost all idea, and it will be helpful for them to go and, they no need to search in Google. When they search in my videos, their all questions should be answered in that single vlog, and they should be very happy with the, with the presentation. And why and how it is different from other vloggers? Well, I say like travel vloggers, they usually do the, they usually shoot their travel videos from point A to point B. So point A might be their hotel or their home, or the wherever the place they are staying, and the point B will be like the final destination, like where they want to, explore. So usually what happens, they like travel, they cover only their journey, how they travel and all, but they, there is a lack of, they don't give much information about the place where they are visiting. So in my video, if you see, so you will find everything, like from the point where I start and point where I reach. And also you can see motor vlogging also. And I mainly focus on the place, and sharing much more about that place and why it is famous for, and adding some cinematic voiceover and b-roll, and adding some music, so to make it more entertained while getting the information. So it will be infotainment, they will get more information as well as they will get entertained for the in my videos. So there I stand out from other vloggers.
Okay. Can you give us an example of one of your travel where you have done all these things?
Yeah, in my recent video I have uploaded, which is a new experiment for me. I added B-roll shots and cinematic, and added music and voiceover in my recent video, which was in Abu Dhabi itself, Qasr Al Husn. Since you are in Abu Dhabi, you must have heard.
Yeah, I'm seeing it daily from my apartment.
Yeah, yeah. Even me to like my office, it is just next to it. So yeah, so I tried that place, and I got very good response for that video. So,
okay, very good. Yeah. So the main objective of your log is to give information to other travelers, so that when they reach a destination, they can see the places and what they have to see, what are the best things that they have to see, and all those things. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on, Sharal.
Yeah, my next question will be for Lakshmi. Now, the food is very important part of travel, right? So because it's like whenever we travel, in every destination there will be a specialty, a traditional food. So can you please tell us what kind of a food you're blogging and from which part of the world?
Okay, that, like I said earlier also during my chat, my travels are mostly in India, and because I feel India has a plethora of food and culture that needs to be explored before I even step out of the country. Though I've traveled to a couple of countries, I still would love to talk about Indian food.
Please.
Yes. Yeah. The Jigar Tanda in Madurai is something that took my heart away. It is a very special drink that is made with seaweed and things like that is added to it, and milk, and it's a drink. So that is one thing that, if at all you ask me the 10 things that are on my bucket list before I die, Jigar Tanda will definitely be one. And yes, so another is the Ramashari Idli, like I said. Then the Puliogare that Tamil Nadu has. And, even in Pune, there is a place that has misal pav. So I remember having this, I was there in Pune for about 7 days, just traveling by road. And I remember eating this misal pav at least once in a day.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So, and then the another thing is also in Hyderabad, the biryani.
Yeah. What is this misal pav? Misal pav is like the beaten rice or something?
No, it actually is given with
pav. The bread.
Bread pav, yes.
Okay.
They give a watani, they say watani.
Okay.
Yes, and on that they add save and mixture and some chutneys, some 2-3 varieties of chutneys. So the watana ka dish is called usal, and when they add everything together, it's called misal. So that is something that was very unique and very flavorful. And also the biryanis of the south, like for example, Calicut has amazing biryani which is made with the short grain rice called jirga samba. So that was something that fascinated me without, anything rich. Because when we go towards Hyderabad and north, the biryani starts getting very richer. With lot of cashew nuts and things like that. Whereas in South, the cooking is very humble. Whereas the technique of cooking is quite lengthy. So I found all these elements quite different. And also when you come to Karnataka, in North Karnataka, there is something called as susla, which is made with our humble charmuri. And the dish is absolutely fascinating for its simplicity, for its, the way of making it, and, the way they present the entire thing with the mirchi and things like that. So, yes, these are the things that are on my favorites.
Okay, okay, great. Now, my next question to Alka. Today is the World Tourism Day. So, why people tour to various places and why it is necessary to travel different destinations, Alka?
Yeah, so I think every individual has their own perception and motive behind travel. Personally, I like to travel because I get some sense of work-life balance, or I like to travel to new places because of its history or its heritage, or I like to observe its culture and and lifestyle of different kind of people. I think when somebody travels, you have a broader perspective of what the culture and a lifestyle of a particular place is. So with that, what it does to you is, you are more open, and you are more accepting of that kind of culture, and that kind of lifestyle that people are living. I think personally, I feel when people travel, they grow and become a better human being. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I think knowing the people all over the world, traveling makes you. I feel traveling makes you humble
Right.
because
Yeah.
you got to know you never know who is bumping next to you, whether it is a air travel or the train travel, and you come up with the very nice and wonderful strangers who
Yeah.
share their sometimes they talk and and we get to know people and their culture, their
Right.
tradition, and
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
I think traveling, as Lakshmi said, I think she mentioned something. Lakshmi, you said if you are not traveling, then you are, what is
You've
that?
not lived enough. If you have
Not
not traveled,
living.
you've
Yes.
not lived enough.
Yeah. If you
Yes.
have not traveled, you are not lived
Lived
enough.
enough.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly the, just going out of this way. I would like to ask Alka. Have you any time traveled to Georgia? Anybody here?
No, no,
No. It's
not
a it's
yet.
a it's a beautiful country. I mean, it's very nice, and food is like yummy. And I must tell you, the kachapuri that you get, super. And there is have you heard about momos?
Yes.
Yeah. So like momos, you get their king kali. King
Okay.
Kali. Yeah.
Okay.
Have anybody? I think Prashant knows what is Manakesh, right? I think Alka also will know because the
Yeah,
Manakesh is
because there
something
is a lot of
Moroccan.
influence of Moroccan food.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Manakesh,
Yes.
Manakesh. I think Prashant knows what is
It's a
Manakesh.
pizza.
Yeah, the pizza type. Yes. So Kachapuri is like Manakesh, Kachapuri, and but with lots of cheese, lots of cheese.
Okay.
So in case you are going to Georgia, I think you need to taste the
Yeah,
Kachapuri and
certainly. I think I
yeah,
will.
King Kali.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because you are very much into food, and you and Lakshmi. Well, Lakshmi is traveling all over India, and I think my mouth is watering when she said you get a very good, nice biryani at Calicut. Really, it's mouth watering.
And
Uh,
especially when you tell it to a person who's not living in India, I think the impact is more.
yeah, I've been to Calicut in my college days. I mean, I know the food in Calicut. So nice. Yeah, and okay. Let's take a small break now. and we'll come back after 30 seconds. Viewers, don't go away. We are talking to three youngsters and who have traveled in India and outside India, and they are going to share the places, the food, and how they felt while traveling. So let's come back after 30-40 seconds. Let's take a break.
Qualified Machinery Services LLC is the leading construction equipment rental company established in the UAE. We give for rental soundproof generator, diesel air compressor, diesel welding generator, diesel drive tower lights, double drum walk behind rollers, plate compactor, concrete mixer machine, steel bar cutting and bending machines, asphalt cutters, power trowel machine, concrete vibrator, jumping compactor, tile cutter, concrete bucket, sand blasting machine, concrete grinder, cable and distribution board. Qualified Machinery Services LLC, Ajman.
Okay, we are back live, and Sharal, please go ahead with the question.
Yeah, my next question is for Prashant now. You have traveled more than 20 destinations and vlogged the destinations, right? So
Yes.
what is the response of the people and how it has benefited those who actually cannot travel?
Yeah. So yeah, in my to be honest, the very beginning I started uploading the videos, and it was not that, it was not that content was not that good, and yeah, the initial response was not that great, I must say. Eventually that I improved a lot, and now I'm getting a very good response for the videos, and thanks for all the viewers. And talking about the how it benefited to the people who can't travel. So well, in vlogs, like video logs, like what you feel is like feel engaged or feel connected with the person who is, who with to whom you are watching. So my viewers, like they feel like they are traveling with me, and I'm being their virtual guide, and I'm showing, they are feeling what I'm feeling right in that place. So that is staying, it's a connection between them, and they are really enjoying that. Even if they can't travel, they feel like they are traveling with me, so it is that kind of connection.
Yeah. Okay. Prashant, I would like to, these 20 destinations mostly are in India or outside India?
Yeah, it's covered all, like a few places from Kuwait, few from Abu Dhabi, and almost from, India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have any of you traveled to South Africa? Anybody? Alka?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I think all of you should travel to South Africa. Okay. I mean, you need to go to Joburg, and you need to go to Cape Town and see the wonderful places in South Africa, the Tabletop Mountain. And I think Prashant will love it. You are talking about how to show the, places. I have some pictures and videos in my, in my Facebook also. Maybe you can check it out. But South Africa is a nice place. And for your information, Alka,
Yes.
Portugal is not far.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There you can, I don't know whether you eat fish. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I eat fish.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a coastal person.
Okay. So in Lisbon, you can select the live fish. I mean, live. Okay. And you can ask for the dish, and they will explain you the dish, which fish you can, choose, and what kind of dish you can make, and they will tell you everything. And then you wait for that, wonderful. There's a place if you are in Lisbon. Okay.
Yeah, I think I have a travel schedule to Lisbon in November, but I don't know what the pandemic will do.
Yeah. When the pandemic is, pandemic will go, and but again, Portugal is a very nice place. There are various destinations that you can, there is a Sintra that you can go. It's in the hilly place. I mean, when the buses go, you feel, you are traveling in the north of India. So it's a place called Sintra. And of course, there is Fatima in Portugal, which you can, if you are interested. But it's a wonderful place. You can explore. I mean, for people like Prashant and all. I'm sure you people will. I will see your blog continuously, and I will see the pictures. Yeah. Okay. My next question to Lakshmi. Do you give food consultancy or share your research to restaurants and eateries around? And what is your best dish?
Yes, I do give consultancy here because what is the use of knowledge if you cannot share it?
Correct.
So, yes, I remember doing this cashew festival in a restaurant that is about 15 years old, introducing an entire menu for about 20 days just on cashew nut. For example, it is called Bibbe and Konkani, Bibbo or Bibbe. So there was Bibbe curry, there was Bibbe gyros, there was Bibbe biryani, there was a lot of North Indian dishes and Konkan dishes with it and things like that. So that was something that interesting that we had introduced for the first time in Mangalore, Cashew Festival. And secondly, also my travel journeys have bought during food festivals and restaurants, the menu has, in helping out, then sketch out a menu for them. For example, this Kottu Paratha, which is of Tamil Nadu, I remember having it, made in a fusion manner and having it on the menu during a Navratri festival and made a veg version of it. And for example, this sweet called Katmandige that is very famous in, one of the parts of Karnataka, bringing that over here and making a lot of fusion dishes of, just not because authentic is very difficult to be eaten. People of Mangalore, for example, you will not like a Gujarati food that, has mostly everything sweet. So how do you get, suitable to the palate of Mangaloreans? So that is something that I have done. And my best dish definitely is the biryani. It is,
okay.
It was a trail from Hyderabad, the spices that they use and, the technique that they use in Hyderabad. So that is something that in one of the restaurants in Mangalore, we had done and experimented in a matka.
So, yeah, matka, yes. I was about to ask you. Is it served in matka?
Yes, because I think biryani is the base right now.
Dum biryani is always in matka, yes.
Yes, so there was a lot of ingredients. For example, there were around 40 to 50 ingredients that went into that biryani. So it was quite rich, royal, and this only comes because, I have traveled and things like that.
Yes. I think Prashant's mouth is watering when he said dum biryani.
Love matka biryani.
I know here you get wonderful biryani, dum biryani in Abu Dhabi. It's wonderful, South Indian biryani, dum biryani. It comes in the matka and very, very delicious, I must say. Okay, let's move ahead, Sharal. Let's move ahead. Okay, let me continue with the. Okay, Alka, you started a small weekend business where you take orders and provide people with a variety of Indian food. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, I am passionate about cooking. So this is not something that I had it when I was back at home. So only once when I left home for work, I realized, okay, this thing. And I have the skill of cooking. And that credit, I would definitely give it to my mother and my grandmother. And it's probably part of my hereditary that, carried out. And my friends have been great critics of my food. And this kind of gave me some, motivation to start something new. And living abroad, I realized that the general perception of Indian food, is that it's always hot and spicy and it's all about curries. But we all know it's a lot more to that. So I thought I should, put my skill out there for people to know what our Indian cuisine is actually like. So what I did here is me and my friend, who's also a partner with me in this business, is we started putting out menus on the weekdays so that, and put it out in the local groups here. So people started seeing it and, approaching us and pre-ordering it for the weekend. And that's how I started it. And, and then I started taking surveys and started to see what is, what sells more, like what is the preference. I realized that there's always a preference of non-veg over the vegetarian food here. And that's how I started building on my menu every weekend. And that's how I serve the people here.
Okay, okay, that's great. I know in most of the European countries, you don't get Indian food. It's very difficult to get the food. I will share with you my experience. We were traveling from Paris. We didn't go to Paris, but we en route for Paris. We went to Lisbon and other places and all. And my God, we didn't have any Indian food, for almost 7 days. And then when we came back to Paris, I don't know whether you know about it. Gare du Nord is the main junction in Paris. And just outside Paris, you have whole bunch of Indian restaurants.
There's a whole lane of Indian restaurants.
Good lane. I think lane means many lanes. Many lanes where you can find very nice Indian food, spicy and all variety of food. It's a fact that when we travel, we miss the Indian food. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. And very good that you are, a variety of Indian food that you are making, and you are doing it. Let's move on. Let's talk about something which is, very interesting. This question to all of you. With all of you having so much travel experience, what are the hurdles or negative aspects faced during travel? I will start with the Prashant.
Yes, sir. So the negative aspects, I haven't experienced much, but to make a travel video, it's like you need to prepare before. You can't just go and start taking video, because you will not be having the information about that place. Without knowing that about the place, if we go, we can't take the information. So sometimes we feel lazy, like why I need to take so much effort, and so that time, like after we go there, sometime we plan and we go. Sometimes there are a few places where we can't take videos. So that is these are a few problems. And if I go to any travel destination, any place like a heritage place or anything, I can't go as a traveler. I can go. You mean like I need to take a lot of. My job will be just to go there, collect all the information, shoot the videos. I'll be completely involving. I'll not be enjoying that much that the place like the other travelers used to enjoy. So that are the difficult, and that are that may sometimes feel embarrassed for us. While other are enjoying the place and we are taking videos, and what this guy is doing, like they might have thinking like that. Definitely. But once after finish shooting, and we'll be and one more thing, while we are shooting our own videos, we have to be energetic always. And sometimes like when we go out and it's because of the temperature, we feel sweat, and it will not be that great if we take videos. And in that, apart from all that hurdles, and when we came back home, and when I start editing and upload the video, and when I watch my video by my own and share with my mom, my dad and my friends, and after getting their response, I feel relaxed and very happy. So these are the points.
There is one motivating words coming to you from Vincent Pereira. He's saying, focus on future, always be positive. Prashant, keep up.
Thank you so much.
This is a message for you. But what I can give you a tip because of my travel experience, that I always plan my travel myself. It's a little painful, but then I go through all the destinations where I want to go, and then study those places, and then we plan to go to that destinations, maybe 2 countries or 3 countries. So we combine the correct places, and best thing is to stay next to the railway station.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere, if you are going to Europe or any part of the world, it's best is to stay next to the railway station, so that you can travel anywhere. For example, London, it's better to stay at next to the railway station, so that you can reach all the places within no time by train, because the train service in Europe is the best. I think Alka can give me marks for that.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. So this is what it is. So this is some tip. Okay, let's have that question to Alka, because you have traveled so much, and what are the hurdles or negative aspects that
I think personally, a hurdle for me, I would say that when you travel, you have a certain plan in your mind, and when you go to a country where English is not a primary language, and they have their own language, so getting things done or trying to converse with the locals, and trying to understand what you have to achieve in that travel, that is a small hurdle for me. But coming to the negative aspect, I think I'll talk in with respect to a general thing here. So when a place becomes very touristy, or when tourism is at its peak, it comes with pollution. So I think that is the most negative part of tourism, is when when it is not maintained well. So the impact of that is directly on earth. So the classic example I would say is Venice. So I think Venice had forgotten how the color of water was for years now.
Right.
And it took a pandemic for them to realize what is under that water, and how clear the water is, or what actually the color of water is like. So it is very important, I feel, for, when you go to a tourist place, or for that, I would say it's a government's responsibility to how to manage tourism. So I think that is one of the most negative.
I think to some extent it is Goa also.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To every place, I would say that.
Yeah.
So this question is for all 3 of you. Let's take tourism to a little broader sense. So like what I really want to ask is like, why tourism is necessary for a nation? And do you think that India has potential for the growth of tourism industry? And what more is required for the development of this industry in India?
Yeah. Shall we start with Lakshmi? Because you are mostly traveling in India.
Yes, definitely tourism is required for a country for 2 reasons. One is for economic reasons, as well as, the reason for aesthetics. I think it's more important that we, preserve our culture, our heritage, and it is there for others to come and experience. Because I feel our country is like a world. The snow-capped mountains of Europe, you'll find it here. The deserts of, your Saudi Arabia, you'll find it here in Rajasthan. The rainfalls of the tropicals, you'll find it here in our country. And I think, this entire country of ours is a miniature world. And,
Right.
But I think, we have failed to put our country out there on the world map, saying that, it is a very, safe country for travel. It's a very beautiful country to know. The people are, very accommodating and very, very nice to be along with. And I feel, they treat guests like almost gods in our country. That is the beauty which, no other country does. And keeping all this in mind, I think there is a huge scope for tourism where the government as well as, the individuals have to come together and bridge that gap and somewhere, make our country, worthy of, open to all tourists all around the world.
Yeah. But do you think there is something more required for the development of industry, this travel industry in India? What is more required?
I think the minds should change. It should open, open
Yeah.
cultures should come up. Individuals have to have open minds, for the change that tourism will bring. Because even when we get tourists from outside, we should accept their cultures as well,
Right.
their ways, their habits, and their
Correct.
lifestyle. So that I think is much more important before we
Yeah,
start tourism.
but I must ask you this question: is it not Mangalore still underdeveloped as far as the tourism industry is concerned?
I would call it developing. I would call it a
Developing.
positive term that it is a developing a place in terms of tourism.
Underdevelopment means it's not negative. It is not
Yes,
developed to the potential it
fully
should have been. This is what my question.
it should have. Because it is such ironical that we are couched between Kerala and Goa, and both are amazing tourist destinations.
Yeah.
Whereas Mangalore, that is couched between these two beautiful states, is not doing much with tourism. Where I think some kind of initiatives have been taken up by the government, by the the authorities, and certain things are getting open.
Yeah.
Which we are
because
hopeful.
what I feel is, just correct me if I'm wrong, because we have got all kind of transportation. I mean, internationally, sea, I mean, water, by flight,
Rail.
people can reach Mangalore. By train, you can reach
Yes.
from all destination, whether it is road, and we have a beautiful location where people can come from any part of the world. I mean, and there are various destinations that can be reached. We have beautiful beaches, and we have got so many nice places, in and around Mangalore. I felt that it has not developed to the potential it should have. This is what my feeling is. What do you say?
Totally agree. There are a lot of things to explore in Mangalore, but we do not know where the change has to take place. Perhaps a dialogue must be encouraged between, the people of Mangalore, the administration, the political parties, the youth wings, and everyone. Probably there should be a dialogue to understand where the problem lies. And I think we all should work hand in hand towards Mangalore.
Yes, sure. And we at News Karnataka would like to support the cause of, developing Mangalore as a tourist destination, because I am telling you honestly, we have wonderful food. Our coastal Karnataka food is so wonderful, and I'm sure people will start loving it if the tourism is developed to the potential. Alka, what do you say?
Absolutely. So when to your point that you're saying that Mangalore's food, as I mentioned that earlier, it is at most, and nothing can beat it, I think, so far. When it comes to my experience. So coming to the question where, why is this tourism important, and what's the scope of improvement for India? I think my points were similar to what Lakshmi's were. I would just add to her telling that, I think in India, we need, companies, be it big or small industries or corporates, to, provide or promote tourism in the form of incentives. What I mean by when I say this is, I think you must be aware, all these government employees of banks and insurance companies have been provided with the, packages for them to travel once in a year for them and their family. So with this, I think, it adds on to a little encouragement, and then it promotes tourism in this country as well. And again, making tourism places safer, especially for women. So when a place can get to a point where it's really safe, you obviously have influx, a lot of people coming into that place. So I think that's a really important thing here.
Okay. And Prashant, what is your call on that? Why tourism is necessary for a nation, and do you think India has potential for the growth of tourism industry, and what more is required for the development of this industry in India?
Yes, exactly. The points which I wanted to cover, our both guests, Miss Alka and Miss Lakshmi, they have covered all already. But I would like to add some more because of the tourism. it will definitely have a positive impact on the GDP and economy of the country, and it will also generate the employment.
Employment, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So like not even the employment. Like I would like suggest, like if government give us like any employment for the as a tour guide, when we visit, if you visit here in Abu Dhabi or in Kuwait, so there are tour guides.
Tour guides, yes.
Yeah,
everywhere in any part of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, we no need to pay them. It's free, of course. But in India, it is not. The scenario is different. There, we need to pay to the tour guides, and sometimes if you don't pay them, they are not willing to come with us. And there are such, there are few points. So in that case, if government is thinking about the, to give some employment, so that would be great. And talking about the maintaining, there are a lot of places in India, I agree, government can't focus on each and every places, because India is a very vast country.
Yes,
and there are a lot of places. And like normal in every city, I think there are historical places or heritage sites. So they are maintained by localites, local civilians. They maintain, they take care of for government is not paying for them, but they are taking care of that place by themselves, without expecting anything. And there are some civilians who, like, also the tourists, we can say the youngsters, who draw on each and every wall of the so that and throwing some garbage, plastic, papers and all, not maintaining it cleanliness is the that is one most cause. So being a citizen, it is our responsibility to not to government cannot keep eye on each and every individual on each and every point. So it is our responsibility to keep it clean and maintain the place. So this is a message, and this is the thing I would like to say.
I just want to add to what you have said, because I was in Jaipur last November, December, and it's a beautiful, it's called Pink City of India. It's a beautiful place, and where we lived, the inside, it is it's a palatial thing. I mean, old Maharajas, their cottage and all those things.
Yeah.
But the moment you come out, you feel really, I'm telling you, sorry to say, you feel disgusted, because the roads are, everywhere there is garbage and this, that, and you feel pity that, such a beautiful place. And then, this is the thing. Anyway, I'm just sharing my experience with all of you. As you are travelers, I also have traveled. This is the thing. Okay. Let's take a break now, and let's come back after a break now. Okay. Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC, Abu Dhabi. Accounting is the bloodline of your business. We provide accurate and timely accounting with day-to-day reports on cash flow, profit and loss, and balance sheet. You do business and leave accounts to us. We will manage it for you. Call Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC at +971 507123 965 or visit www.quickaa.com today. Quick Accounting for perfect business. Okay, let's start. There is a question coming from Sanjay Rego. He's saying, who eats Indian food in Paris? Okay, I think I must explain that, because when the Indian tourists go all over the place, they don't find the Indian food except in Paris. This is what I was trying to say. I don't think people from Europe will eat the Indian food. Of course, they are eating the spicy food now. They have started eating. If you go to London, there are so many restaurants which are they are saying Indian restaurants, but they are run by our neighbors. You got me what I'm saying. So I'm sure Mr. Rego, people who are traveling from India, they would like to, after 3 days, 5 days, 6 days, they would like to have fish curry somewhere if it is available. It's always like that. All right. My question to all of you now, this is the last question. What is your message to people amidst living with Corona, and what is your call to viewers to support News Karnataka and why? I will start with Alka.
So coming to your first question, I think there has been a mixed response with people who are actually serious about Corona and who have taken it lightly. I would personally like to say that it's better to be safe than sorry. So it's okay to it's only temporary, so it's okay to follow some protocols, wear mask, maintain your distance, be more responsible and aware. And my message is, you don't have to be scared about this, you just have to be aware and responsible. So that's about it. Coming to your second question, I am really proud that I am connected to News Karnataka, and I'm glad that Cheryl has approached me. And when I got to know more about News Karnataka, I understood that, News Karnataka is catering different segments of the society with the diverse and focused programs like, providing jobs or providing online trainings, or that program where, you can earn when you learn.
Yeah.
So, but the most important thing I must say is, is good journalism, because that is something that is lacking in many mainstream media these days, where we are being shown insane propaganda in the name of news. So that is something that I am really happy that News Karnataka is doing, and I hope you continue to do so. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll go with the Lakshmi.
Yes. To your first question, I think when life pushes you to your extreme, you have two options in front of you. One is to crib about it, and second is to make use of it as an opportunity. I think Corona has pushed all of us into, oblivion, into, saying that it is very difficult to survive in this. So other than survival, I think 2020 is, all about making the most of it and turning that into a beautiful opportunity, which I think I have done it with my everyday salad. Because what happens is, a lot of restaurants got shut during this pandemic. There was a lot of issues that were happening in, our own city with most businesses, and even restaurants were most affected because of it. So the other option was to start a home kitchen, cloud kitchen, do something else. Most restaurants that were not going digital and all those things have suddenly, after pandemic, have gone digital.
Yes, Lakshmi,
they changed their strategy. They've gone out there. They've gone out there and gone digital. So I think that's what Corona has done to you. You have come out stronger because of this pandemic. And secondly, with News Karnataka, I think this is the crowd-funded channel that I know from Mangalore, which I feel that you have objectivity in your coverage, because when most of the media houses are funded by corporates and other things, there is scope for the news to not be very objective. But I feel News Karnataka has been true to its virtue by giving us very objective news, which is one of the fundamentals of having a news channel. And I think it's doing a fabulous job. In this, I also propose that somewhere you bridge the gap between travel bloggers with your channel, and give a small space for bloggers to write about their experiences, and share their photographs or videos.
All right. Yeah, that's a good suggestion, and we will take it, Lakshmi, and we'll see how best. Now, three of you are already there. Maybe how we can bring three of you initially, and then have more people joining us. Okay, that's great. And finally, Prashant.
Yeah. So talking about the Corona and the pandemic, I must say to all the viewers, please take care of yourself, and when you are traveling, please follow all the safety guidelines as what government has given to us. It is our responsibility, and this will be, the Corona will not stay forever. It will stay for few months or few days. If we follow the safety instructions, it will stay with us forever if we don't respect the guidelines as what government has given to us. And Corona is a social cause, but when my message to all the youngsters, Like such kind of pandemic situation is there in each and every youngster's life. They are trying to start something and they get negative comments from some people, and they get demotivated and they stop doing that. I would like to say, if you are doing something helpful to others, please don't stop it. Listen, just ignore the negative comments. Once you reach to the top, once you get succeeded in the thing what you are doing, they will only the people who are giving you the negative comments, they will only stand next to you and they will start praising you. So
Right.
just ignore the negative comments. And one more thing, if you are you feel failure in your life in something, or if you can't start a business or whatever it is, just approach your parents, approach your loved ones, mainly parents. Share your pain, or share your negative thoughts, whatever
Right.
if you're feeling low, share it with your parents, because they are very good listener and they are giving us the best suggestion, and they love us like no one else in the world love
Great.
us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so respect your parents, listen to your parents, and do the good things what you are doing, so never give up. So that is the only message to all the youngsters.
Yeah.
And talking about the News Karnataka, so for a guy like me, so this is a very big platform. So I'm really grateful to News Karnataka. And talking about the thing you are doing, it's really amazing. You are like standing with the truth. And it is a very important, because nowadays it is very easy to create a fake news and just forward it in a WhatsApp. So it is very difficult to find a right news and stand by it. And stand by truth is the main motive of News Karnataka. That, and it's being our own you are from, like, the News Karnataka is from our own motherland. So it's each and everyone's responsibility to promote it, to share with as much as people, because they are doing a very fabulous job. So it is our responsibility to share the things what they are doing. So, and thanks once again for having me here, and it's a really very big platform for me, and for
Yeah.
all the guests. I agree, for
Okay.
for them
All
also.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you very much, Alka, Lakshmi, and Prashant, coming to our platform and expressing your views about blogging on travel and food. And you have shared some of the wonderful things. And you have given me also an opportunity to share my travel experience with you. I hope you liked it. And of course, what Lakshmi has suggested, we will definitely consider. I think our viewers are listening. Maybe we will start the thing that you have already said. And thank you very much once again. And my co-host Sharal, who is our client service executive, and she has done a wonderful job bringing you together. And all of you have joined. I think Sharal is main person. And let's have more and more travel bloggers and vloggers and all over the world who are from Karnataka, and so that we can tell about them to whole world what they are good at and how they can do traveling industry and the food industry a wonderful job. Thank you very much, Prashant,
Yeah.
Alka, and Lakshmi, for coming for the show and participating for more than an hour. And I hope viewers, you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alka.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Cheryl, also.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.